We're going live. And we are live. Welcome, everybody, to Just a Star Wars Nerd. I'm your host, Ty. I am the nerd. And joined with us today, we have Ike from Kenobis Korner. No, he does not have a choice to be here. And yes, I'm forcing him to be here with me today. So, before we get any further, happy May the 4th, everybody. Thank you all so much for joining me today. Ike, care to take it away?
Welcome everybody, and today we will be talking about what Star Wars means to us in one way or another. Today we will be going over a variety of topics such as upcoming Star Wars shows, the Star Wars shows that have just posted today, and Andor Season 2, which came out on Tuesday. We will be talking about some of our fondest Star Wars memories when we were younger, maybe when we were getting into the franchise, or something that is a little more recent. We will also be ending with some Q&A, so be sure that you guys are asking questions in the live chat, and we'll be sure to answer every one of them that we can.
All right, perfect. Couldn't word that better myself. So yeah, first thing we're going to be doing is talking about upcoming Star Wars news, or upcoming Star Wars shows. And I feel like the most fitting show we can talk about is Tales of the Underworld. Now, I am only on the Asajj Ventress arc, but I'm nearly done with it, and I love it right now. I feel like what they did with the Dark Disciples novel and incorporating it into live action, or not live action, but into animation and staying true to the books is really good and is what Star Wars needs. We shouldn't be decanonizing things. We should be building off of them to expand our stories and make them more cohesive and, fun. So I like it. I feel like Asajj Ventress coming back, the new Jedi, Likey, something like that. Lyko, that's his name. I like it. I feel like it's really cool. We got to see some old bounty hunters from the Clone Wars. I feel like it's going to be fun. The Cad Bane arc, though, I know our friend, a W Bounty Hunter, definitely is going to get a kick out of that one. So yeah, hopefully, I'm excited for it. Anything to add, Ike?
Yeah, actually, so as he stated, he has not been able to finish the Cad Bane arc. He has finished the Ventress side of Tales of the Underworld. I had the privilege last night to stay up and watch all 6 episodes, both arcs for both characters, and I enjoyed both of them a lot. But for me, the Ventress arc I felt was a lot more rounded, a lot better telling the story. The Cad Bane arc kind of felt like it was going in a lot of directions. So something that I will say without spoiling it for people that haven't seen it yet is from the first episode to the 3rd episode, it's like a 5 or 10 year gap. Like they spread 5 years in that 45 minutes, where the Ventress arc, it feels like they are very much in 1 year in like one cohesive story in a matter of a couple of days. So I felt like I really enjoyed that arc a lot more than I enjoyed the Cad Bane arc, but the Cad Bane arc nonetheless was a really, really good 3 episodes, and I enjoyed the show overall as a whole, especially after a lackluster last Tales of, as in that being Tales of the Empire.
Yeah, Tales of the Empire had a lot of potential with Morgan Elsbeth and Barriss Offee returning. Kind of fumbled a bag, though. I liked Barriss Offee's episodes for the first 2 ones were good, with the Inquisitor, the 7th Sister, if I'm not mistaken. So I enjoyed that, but then after that, I was like, kind of took it downhill. But yeah, so Tales of the Underworld, definitely really good. Y'all should go check it out. Who am I for Star Wars nerd? I'm just a Star Wars nerd. This is, I guess, my first time having my face on screen. But yeah, I'm just a Star Wars nerd. It's Kenobis Korner, Ike. Make sure to check him out on YouTube. He is Kenobis Korner. He covers shorts and Star Wars news and all that. So he's definitely really cool. It took a lot of convincing to drag him on here, but we got him, guys. Anyway, the next show I would love to talk about is Andor Season 2. I enjoy it. Not as good as Season 1, but I feel like it has so much potential. I love it so far. It's what's going on with Gorman and all that stuff with the weaving spiders. I have a sneaking suspicion it's gonna connect to the Death Star. I don't know how, but we know Director Krennic's in it. He was in episode 1, so it seems natural. Unfortunately, though, I don't think Darth Vader or Emperor Palpatine will be making an appearance. But never say never. Currently, my thoughts overall on the show is I enjoy it. It's fun. It's dark. It's definitely taking Star Wars in new twists and turns that, quite frankly, are needed. It's interesting to see how Bix is recovering from her trauma on Ferrix. So I like it. Overall, I think it's good. Cassian Andor is definitely a favorite character of mine. Not in my top 10, but I love him. Cool actor, good character, story's good. Can't wait to see how this all leads up to Rogue One. Mike, any thoughts?
Yes, these last 3 episodes that came out, I thought were actually extremely lackluster. I found myself almost falling asleep. I found it very hard to stay connected in the story with the first 2 episodes. By the time we hit the 3rd episode, I felt like it was going to start picking up, and I believe that the next 3 episodes are going to take us into the Gorman Massacre, which I think will keep my attention much better than these last 3 episodes did. Not to mention that the recast that they did for Bail Organa, I thought was a extremely awful idea. With him, seeing him in Rogue One, he looks like he's aged 10 years older than he even was in Rogue One. So I felt like that was a big mistake that they made, was the recast. I am in no way in any form in support of that recast. I also was talking to some other people actually, and I found some Easter eggs that were in the show that I thought were very interesting. Like when they were at that show with Mon Mothma, Krennic, and Mon Mothma's husband, I'm blanking on his name at the moment, and they were trying to take out like the piece where they were spying on them, and like when Clea like got her hand cut and like she was bleeding, all just trying to make sure that the Empire wasn't eavesdropping on them. I was very in the show at that point, but then when we got out of that and it was like just the characters talking, it felt really long and slow. So I'm definitely hoping for it to pick up from now, but right now I'm staying optimistic about it because it feels very slow, and if I didn't have faith in Andor all, I would not be watching the show right now. That's kind of how boring it is for me.
I understand. But sometimes, I mean, I feel like this slow build-up has a really good payoff. Like we saw in Andor Season 1. The build-up with Andor killing those 2 Imperials, it felt slow, felt unconnected with the story. And we just saw the slow build-up to eventually the incident on Ferrix, which I loved. That final end fight where Marva said, like, fight the Empire. I love that. But yeah, I enjoy it so far. Definitely has a lot of room for improvement. But the next show I'm about to announce, or not announce, the next show I'm about to talk about, Maul Shadow Lord, I have so much faith, and I'm beyond hyped for that. So, I'm just going to talk about it real quick, and I'm not going to mention spoilers because I don't know if these are spoilers. From what we do know, Maul will be appearing. It takes place 1 year after Order 66. We know Maul is fighting Marok, the Inquisitor, and we also know that he is getting an apprentice, Darth Talon. Not confirmed, but I mean, it's a Red Twi'lek. Obviously, it has to be Darth Talon. If it's not, it wouldn't make the most sense to not have her in, but it also would make sense because, as we know, she has no mention whatsoever in the original trilogies, Rebels, or any other spin-off show. But it's not impossible to bring her in. I personally am excited to see what they're going to bring. We know it's going to cover Maul's his attempts to rebuild the Shadow Collective with the Crimson Dawn. So that's going to be super cool. Dryden Voss, I believe, is making an appearance. I know it's taken a different art style. Some people compared it to a moving Japanese artwork, which is really interesting to me. Because besides from Visions, this is the only Star Wars show in a different art style than that of the Clone Wars, which is going to be new and going to take some getting used to, but I have very high hopes for it. Anything else you want to add?
Yeah, I'm in full support of this show. This is something that as soon as it was announced, I was literally sitting down and I was watching Star Wars Celebration on my TV at like 4 a.m. And as soon as they announced that show, I was jumping for joy, quite literally. I am more excited for this show than I've been for any other show that's ever been announced for Star Wars. Darth Maul is my favorite character in all of Star Wars. He is my number one. I have complete faith that they are going to land this, and not just land it, but it's going to be the best animated show that we have ever gotten, in my opinion. Yeah. I am in full support that Darth Talon is the Red Twi'lek that we saw in the show. Now, with the animation change, I'm not sure how I'm going to like that compared to other shows that we've seen for the animation, because I'm not a fan of anime, or Japanese anime, that is. I like American animation. I'm a big fan of that, but when it gets to like Japanese anime, I can't say that I'm a huge fan of it.
Interesting. And before going further, this is more of a joke for me and Ike. I don't know if you guys know this, but Darth Maul is one of my favorite characters. He is beyond cool. I love him. So yeah, Ike, I don't know if you know this, but Darth Maul is one of my favorite characters.
You may have mentioned it once or twice.
Yes, we mentioned it I think I mention it every single time I call him. So yeah, it's good to keep that tradition alive. All right, the next show we're going to be talking about is Visions Season 3. I know, Ike, you're not a big fan about it. I am, for the most part. There are a lot of episodes that I'm interested in. And I guess connections with the Vision Season 3 is the 9th Jedi show that we're getting. I'm interested for that. I'm not particularly incredibly hyped for it. I think it could be a fun show, though. I believe it is the one where we see the guy with the red lightsaber and he fights the woman with the umbrellas or whatever it's called. That's how I remember it. Definitely one of my favorite episodes of Visions, just because it was so random, but also felt entirely like Star Wars. So it will be really cool to see how they expand on the story, a different art style, different narrative, and if I'm not mistaken, an entirely new timeline. Now, I'm not fully enthralled with the lore of Visions, but from what I can gather, in this timeline, the Jedi are not the heroes. So it'll be interesting to see how they play this out. And then for Visions Season 3, I'm interested. The episodes were definitely hit or miss, but the episodes that were good, they were good. They had a lot of potential. They really drove the point home, and it was unique, and it was a great experience to see all the different art styles and different stories people can come up with. And also, it was cool to see just tiny little references in the background that a lot of people might not have noticed. But yeah, those are just my thoughts. Anything else?
So, as he stated, I am not a fan of Visions in any way. I have suffered the consequence of watching the first 2 volumes with very little payback, with there being a few cool lightsaber scenes. I will be watching Volume 3 when it does release and come out. I don't actually know if it's come out like May the 4th, like people predicted so today, but I will not be breaking it down on my channel, but I will be watching it, and I have very low expectations, and I feel like my expectations are going to be what they basically make is my outcome. I don't find this show to be interesting in any way. I'm hopeful that I get a few cool scenes that I can be like, that'd be cool to rewatch, but I am not doing it for the story in any way.
Are there any scenes of the show you did like? Any episodes in particular? Like characters, arcs? Because I know there has to be something you liked about it. The Tricata scene?
Yes, I'll give you that. I found that like a very cool scene, especially because it's like the clip that everybody uses when they talk about that lightsaber technique that the Sith and Jedi frowned upon. I'll give you that.
Yes. And I know it's a problem with you being negative about a lot of shows. No, sometimes you gotta see the good in all the shows, except Acolyte, obviously, and except the Star Wars sequels, because universally we can all agree they sucked. Give or take, the cinematics were good, but I mean, let's be honest here, they were far from perfect. And I know Ike completely agrees with me on that. He hates the Acolyte. He definitely has nothing good to say about the sequels. But yeah, I guess, is there another show? The Ryan Gosling and the I'm blanking on the director's name, but the new
Starfighter, Sean Levy
yeah.
and Ryan Gosling movie.
That's it. I'm interested. I'm not a fan of the sequels. As I just mentioned, I am interested though to see how this plays out, because this takes place 10 years after the Battle of Exegol, which, I mean, I'm not even going to discuss how improbable and weird that fight was, but it does make you wonder, how did the galaxy react? How did they adapt? Like, what happened afterwards? The Jedi are gone, essentially. Rey Palpatine, she's not a Skywalker. Rey Palpatine, I guess, is the one rebuilding the Jedi Order. Yes, but you have to imagine there are other Jedi out there. Honestly, not like super big Jedi, but there's Ezra. Unless he dies, he's alive. Same with Ahsoka, she's alive as far as we know. Legends Jedi, who I know are legends, but they might be making an appearance. But since it's a Starfighter movie starring Ryan Gosling, I'm expecting this to be very comedical and definitely not a serious movie. It's definitely going to be made just for the laughs of it, nothing too serious. Hopefully, though, we get some cool lightsaber fights. Maybe we get to see, I don't know, what would be cool to see in it? Probably Jar Jar Binks reappearing. That'd be my hope. But yeah, what are your thoughts on it so far, Ike?
I have voiced my opinion on this numerous times. I am optimistic that it's going to do okay. I am not a fan of Ryan Gosling in any way.
Yeah, he's
The
just
only
Ken.
reason I will probably be watching this movie is because I respect Sean Levy as a film director and creator, and he has done so well with a lot of other movies and shows that I have really enjoyed. I mean, he was the director of my favorite movie that I've ever watched, so I kind of need to give him a
Revenge of the
chance.
Sith. Yep.
Sure. But so I'm optimistic that it's going to do okay. I am not going to get my hopes extremely up on the movie being anything spectacular. I would not be at all surprised if it completely flops at the box office when it comes out, because literally I've told people about this, like I've posted about it before, and like people just don't seem to know what it is. Everyone's focused on the Mandalorian and Grogu, so it seems like it might be shadowed by that, even though it does come out a whole year after.
That is a really good point, but you need to remember Ryan Gosling, he's just Ken. Anywhere else, he'd be a 10. And if you don't get that reference, check out the Barbie movie. It's I know this is a Star Wars channel and all, but Barbie might make an appearance one of these days. I don't know. But yeah, I digress. But yes, you brought me to my next movie, The Mandalorian and Grogu. I'm excited for it. From what I've heard, it's kind of like a combination of episodes mixed together. Moff Gideon is set to return, I believe. So, I don't know. I don't know about him returning. I kind of want Star Wars characters to stay dead. I'm kind of sick of them, like, making an appearance, coming back. It gets annoying because it's like there's no stakes anymore. Reva survived being stabbed. The Grand Inquisitor survived being stabbed. I guarantee you Marok is going to reappear. Who else survived? Sabine survived. So it's kind of like nobody stays dead anymore. But maybe something will happen. Maybe they'll kill Mando or Grogu. Well, probably not Grogu. He's probably their biggest money grabber besides Jar Jar Binks. But yeah, I'm excited for it. How about you, Ike?
I'm very excited for this movie. I love all 3 seasons of The Mandalorian. I thought all of them were masterpieces. It is one of my favorite shows that has been created to this day. It might be my favorite live action show that we have seen in Star Wars. It is like an amazing show, and I love both characters of Din Djarin and Grogu both, and I feel like this movie is going to do really well. Even though we don't know much about it, we know that Imbo is rumored to appear. We know that Jeremy Allen White will be coming to play Rada the Hutt, or Stinky the Hutt from the Clone Wars movie. So we do know that those characters have been confirmed to appear. I'm still waiting for like the full cast to be disclosed to us, because then I expect we'll have Katie Sackhoff will come back and play Bo-Katan. I fully expect that. And so I am very, very excited for this, and I'm keeping up on all the latest news about it. I remember the number for the budget for the film was extremely low compared to what I thought it would be. Like, I don't think it reached like 400 million for its budget. Like, it's a low budget movie, and it makes me very nervous, but I'm still excited because of who is in charge of the movie. But the budget definitely puts some nerves in my stomach for the movie to do well.
For sure. It is interesting, though, when you look at other shows like The Acolyte, Andor, they all had budgets incredibly high. Andor, for example, it had a budget of over 600 million. Which, I mean, I can kind of see where they went with the money. The quality is really good. The set designs are awesome. The actors did a great job. But then The Acolyte, we're not going to talk about that here. But yeah, it's been debunked. It's not 40 million. Interesting. Okay, well, I could be wrong. It could not be 40 million. But still, it is a lot lower than a lot of people are thinking. But yeah.
I'd be interested to see where that updated number sits, because I saw this number just a couple of weeks ago. So I'd love to see an updated number if you know what that is.
Exactly. If somebody knows what the updated number is, please let us know in the comments. We will check it out. And, I mean, hold us accountable. If we're saying something wrong, please let us know. Oh, speaking of which, in the comments, like I said in the beginning, we will be hosting a Q&A at the end if you guys want. So if you guys want to leave some questions in the comments for us to answer, please do so. We will answer them as honestly as we can, unless we don't want to do that. So, you never know. But yeah, any other Star Wars films or shows that are announced?
Outside of like people that have been like said that they have a movie, nothing that's like been concrete. Like, I know like there's people that have had movies like they were supposed to be making like for months or years at this point, but not really any updates that I know of. I think that you've tackled pretty much every show and movie that has been confirmed to come out. Oh, Ahsoka season 2 is actually. We did not go over
how
Ahsoka.
could we forget about Ahsoka season 2? This show is probably what I'm most hyped for. we get to see Abloth, not confirmed, but we know she's appearing. And my personal favorite thing we're going to see, Chopper with a minigun. We're about to witness some war crimes, and I am all for it. Grand Admiral Tarkin versus Grand Admiral I'm blanking, Grand Admiral Akbar in a full-blown fight. Oh heck yes, Night Sisters on Dathomir, Ezra, maybe even Luke. I mean, we never know. But yeah, it is going to be insane. And the concept art, if you guys have seen it, we get to see some sort of gigantic robot that Ahsoka is fighting. Originally, I thought it was Abloth, but after taking a closer look at it, it's not there. We did get to see a recast of Baylan Skoll, which it sucks that Ray Parks unfortunately passed away. But yeah, the replacement they hired for him, it's good. Personally, I don't know. I'm indifferent about it, but I feel like they're honoring his legacy. You know, staying true to his character. He did an amazing job in season 1. A shame he had to pass so early. But yeah, Grand Admiral Tarkin, who's that? Oh, I meant Grand Admiral Thrawn. My bad, not Tarkin. Tarkin was the dude who died on the Death Star. And in Andor Season 2, he issued the Tarkin Massacre on Gormand. But yeah, that's my bad. I meant to say Grand Admiral Thrawn. Tarkin will not be making an appearance. He's dead. Unless he returns. Somehow Grand Admiral Tarkin returned. We don't know how. But yeah, anything you want to add?
Yeah, so he pretty much covered a lot of it. It was really sad that we saw that Ray Stevenson did pass away even before the premiere of the first season. So there has to be a replacement there for someone to continue the character of Baylan Skoll. I don't dislike the person that they chose. He very closely resembles him, and I do think that is going to be an amazing thing to see. I am very hyped for Ahsoka. Like I said, Maul Shadow Lord is what I am most hyped for, but Ahsoka is like right there with it. Ahsoka is my favorite first season of any Star Wars show ever, so I am excited to see them continue that story. I also am a firm believer, and I am very excited to see Abeloth come into the show. I do fully believe that she will be coming into the show. The show is going to have so much that is going to have done in it, and I am just very excited to see it. And I'm extremely excited to see Grand Admiral Thrawn and Admiral Akbar do their space fighting, because two technical geniuses going up in a battle in space is going to be awesome to see. And we know both of them are going to survive. Like, we know Akbar is killed in the sequel trilogy, so we know that they're both going to survive. Neither of them are going to die right now. So.
That ain't my Akbar. My Akbar would have been like, "It's a trap!" and then he would have left the room. So, canonically, he may be dead. But for me, he lives on. But yeah, continue. Sorry to cut you off.
Oh no, that was pretty much what I was going to say. Is that we know that neither of them are going to die, so that's going to make it even funner going into it. That we know that Thrawn isn't going to kill Akbar, Akbar isn't going to kill Thrawn, so it's going to be really cool to actually see that.
Exactly. Yeah. And I believe with that, unless we forgot something, well, there is Young Jedi, the new show coming out, and there's the Rebuild the Galaxy Season 2, but I don't feel like any of us, except me, are going to be watching them. I mean, are you going to be watching Young Jedi?
No, I will not be watching that. So
we all know it's going to lead up to Order 66 and the Youngling Massacre. Favorite scene, except for the hello there. Besides from that, but yeah, Young Jedi. I mean, I'm going to briefly cover that. I know, Ike, you probably don't want to add anything, but yeah, Young Jedi. I mean, we get to see Young Jedi in a galaxy of Star Wars. So yeah, that's all I have to add. And Rebuild the Galaxy, Darth Jar Jar will be crazy to see return. But yeah, with that, I believe we have covered all the new Star Wars shows and movies. Obviously, there is the new Rey movie coming out, but chances are it's not going to be made. The new Jedi Prime movie with George Lucas having a hand in creation of that, with, I forgot the other guy who's directing it, but they're the Jedi Origins movie. But
Dawn of the Jedi, James Mangold.
That's what it is. But I mean, there's really no information about that so far. Until then, we have speculation. So the next topic about this is our favorite Star Wars characters. And I already mentioned Darth Maul, so that's mine. But I'm thinking we can cover our top 5 Star Wars characters and why. So let you do the honors, Ike.
All right, so I have actually thought pretty hard about this since we decided we'd be doing this. And my top 5 are personal opinions. I don't know that anyone will actually share my exact list. But my fifth favorite is Princess Leia. I watched the original trilogy when I was very young, and Leia actually reminded me of my grandma and my mom both, like never giving up. They were both leaders, and they both showed their strength through leading. And so I felt like Leia really reminded me of the two like female role models that were in my life. And so it really just showed me as I grew up. I obviously she was like older than I was, but still like seeing how that connection was there. And it didn't hurt that of the original three, I was not a fan of Han Solo or Luke Skywalker to start. I thought Han was extremely annoying, and I thought that I was hoping that Luke would die in the first couple of movies. So I really was not a big fan of them to start. So her
You
being
just
the
like
only
murder,
one,
don't you?
so with her being the only one that I really enjoyed, I would say that she's my fifth favorite, and like she's just as much as people like bash the sequels, I think that the only person that I've actually not heard a good argument for in the sequel trilogy of why she's so bad is Princess Leia. Like I've never met someone that could give me a valid argument of why she's not a good character in the sequels. The most valid argument I've heard is why did she survive in space and be able to force herself into being alive still? But my
She
argument is
became
always,
Mary Poppins.
yeah, there's the argument that people give is she became Mary Poppins. But still, if that's the worst you have to come at, you really don't have an argument to give to me about why she wasn't good in the sequels. My fourth favorite character is actually one that I just talked about, saying how I didn't like them to start. My fourth favorite character is Han Solo. Actually, Han grew on me as I grew up. Actually, so when I was younger, like we're talking like 5, 6, 7, I was never a fan of Han. I thought he was really just like I never liked him because he was always in for the money. He never actually felt like he had a caring heart. Return of the Jedi, after I watched it even as a little kid, really changed my opinion on Han. But as I've gotten older, I've realized that Han is like the typical person that you meet in real life. That's like the fake friend to start that's only in it if you're going to give him something. If that's money, people would be willing to do things for you. So, and then how he grew up and like actually, even though he's an adult, still grew up. I really enjoyed him being that. And I didn't dislike him in the sequels. I know people really complained how he went out, and I know I went back to back with sequels, but I really did not dislike how he died actually, because considering Harrison Ford has talked about how he's begged them to kill him off, and I felt like they killed him off in a really respectful way, actually gave him a really emotional death scene, and I think that was the best thing they could have done for that character. Now, in my top three, these ones get jumbled around a lot, but these are right now my top three. And my number three is Ahsoka Tano right now. I grew up with the Clone Wars. 2008 was when the first episode aired. I was not quite old enough to watch the first episode, but by about the time that it was about 2018, I started watching Clone Wars. That would have put me around the age of 10 when I watched the first episode. So I like, even though I wasn't there to like completely grow up with Ahsoka, I grew up with Ahsoka and I looked up to her because I felt like there was nothing better in the Clone Wars itself, which I actually will get to another character, but at the beginning of it, before this season 7, there was nothing better than just watching Ahsoka and Anakin butt heads and just watching them win battles and turning it into a competition, having her losing faith in the Jedi, leaving the Jedi Order, seeing the impact that it had on Anakin, showing what we see Anakin in Revenge of the Sith eventually. Where was that gap that like made him like go from having some faith in the Jedi to having literally no faith? And I think that was a big role that happened, was what they did to Ahsoka. So I feel like she, out of anybody in the Clone Wars, got by far the most character development, and it was just a really good time to actually watch her grow up, and it was amazing to see her as a character. Now, my number two is Obi-Wan Kenobi. I would tell people like for my whole life that he was always my favorite character when I was growing up until recently. He is, don't get me wrong, the best part about the prequels. He's the best part of A New Hope. He's the best part, like a good part of the Clone Wars. He was amazing in Rebels. The Obi-Wan Kenobi show is dramatically overhated. He is an amazing character. Has some of the most funny lines in Star Wars, even though Revenge of the Sith is a very serious movie. He always pops in that joke and even though it's serious, he's always the guy with the joke. He is just extremely funny. His emotional scenes with Anakin in Revenge of the Sith, just everything combining into him as a character. He's the Jedi that everybody wishes that they could be. And so that's kind of why I looked up to him. If I was a Jedi, he would be the Jedi that I'd want to be. And now, If you guys noticed a trend in my 4 characters that were in the entry before, they were all heroes. But my favorite character in all Star Wars is Darth Maul, who is a
Oh,
villain.
you copycat. Wow. Real original. Wow, I see how it is. No, continue. I want to hear your explanation.
So, Darth Maul is my favorite character in all Star Wars. In the Phantom Menace, I actually watched on the big screen for its 20th anniversary last year. Or no, yeah, no, 40th, 30, okay. For one of its
Okay, you're kind of
anniversaries.
mixed up.
Yeah, I got it mixed up. So one of its anniversaries, I went and saw it last year, and it was one of the best experiences that I had, actually. And I know we will get to Star Wars memory, so I won't spoil too much. But like seeing Darth Maul on the big screen for the first time in Phantom Menace, when I was a little boy, Phantom Menace was my favorite movie because of Darth Maul being that big scary villain. But only having him in Phantom Menace wasn't enough to justify him being a top 5 character. It doesn't justify him being a top 10 character just for that appearance. But in season 5 of the Clone Wars, when he made his, or season 4, I'm sorry, at the end of season 4, when he made his comeback, it was like one of the best things I ever saw. He was an amazing villain in Clone Wars. Ruthless when he needed to be, not overly ruthless when he didn't need to be. He was just like the perfect mix and the perfect villain. Like, you feel like there's no redeeming qualities until you get to Rebels, where he said to Ezra that we could walk this path not only as his apprentice but his brothers. It made me like tear up as a little boy when I saw that. It was one of the most incredible things that I saw, and he is one of the better written characters. He is like evil, and it's like he doesn't care about almost anybody, and him being the leader of Crimson Dawn at the end of Solo, and that's why I told you Maul being my favorite character, and then going into getting this Maul show, anything that we get in this Maul show is only going to make him be an even better character to me and make him higher up on my list, which is impossible. It just will keep him at number 1 and make it harder for another character to come up and take that one spot away from him. But those are my top 5 characters. I'll run through them really fast again. Leia Organa, number 5. Han Solo, number 4. Number 3 is Ahsoka Tano. Number 2 is Obi-Wan Kenobi. And my favorite character is Darth Maul. Now, Ty called me a copycat. I am very intrigued to hear his top 5, so whenever you're ready.
Yeah, you are a copycat. You knew Darth Maul was one of my favorite characters. But yeah, my top 5 Star Wars characters. Number 5 is surprisingly most likely Anakin. Well, Anakin / Darth Vader. I am a huge Darth Vader fan. If you guys have seen my most recent videos, a lot of them are Anakin or Vader centered. My most recent one that came out yesterday, I believe, which you watch it, is Anakin's final thoughts as he became Darth Vader. He's just such a interesting and complex character for me. It's because you think you understand him, but then you look at the books and comics, and it's like the complete opposite. So I love the complexity of his character. He suffered as a child being a slave to Watto on Tatooine, but then he was freed by Qui-Gon Jinn. Yeah, Qui-Gon Jinn, that's how I pronounce it. And then he became a Jedi. I say it like that because I gets really annoyed when I call him Qui-Gon, but that's how I pronounce it. So, yeah. But yeah, it was interesting to see his journey into becoming a Jedi. And if you guys have read the comics with Anakin and Obi-Wan, you would know that he almost left the Jedi Order because he just felt like he didn't belong. And he felt like the Jedi were very corrupt, which is pretty valid when you think about it. And I love Anakin. Darth Vader, he scares me. I have nightmares about him coming in my room and just, using the Youngling Slayer 9000 on me. So I love him. He's definitely my favorite character. One of my favorite characters, top 5. For number 4, this is where it gets tricky. I'd probably put Darth Malgus on here. This, for all of you for all of you non-Knights of the Old Republic fans, you're probably thinking, what did that guy just say? Darth Malgus was, and probably is, one of my favorite characters. He's the coolest Sith besides Revan, who I will get to, and Darth Sidious. He is one of my favorite Siths of all time. He was so powerful. Seeing him in the cinematic trailers for KOTOR was crazy to me. Seeing him solo the Jedi Grand Master and kill him was beyond insane. His voice was it reminded me of Darth Vader, which I know was the point, because he wanted to draw connections to like old Sith and then Darth Vader. So it was cool symbolism. But it's also cool to see just like throughout his entire life, he was just fighting Jedi. Since I think he was 17 years old, that's when he fought Basta Lashan when the Sith Empire returned to reclaim Korriban. So yeah, I love him as a character. His just relations with the Sith Emperor, Darth Revan, all those characters, I love him. Cool character, cool design, cool voice. His lightsaber hilt also is. I geek out whenever I see it. I'm a Star Wars nerd, guys, obviously. So I don't know. Darth Malgus is so cool to me. So that's why he's number 4. Number 3. It's a really tough one, but I'm probably gonna put Darth Sidious. So Darth Sidious, I mean, he's iconic. You can't beat him. The "Do it" lines are just so good. He is one of the strongest Sith of all time, and he has no character development because he's just so unironically evil. Literally, from the moment we saw him in I guess in Return of the Jedi, I'm referring to the start of the Phantom Menace. He was thinking for decades on how he can eradicate the Jedi Order, and he stopped at nothing. He had no sympathy for anybody whatsoever. Anakin was only a tool to get what he wanted. Dooku was only a tool to get what he wanted. Maul, I mean, in his own words, Maul was literally a pet to him. He used Maul, and when he died, he just cast him aside. He had no use for him anymore. So yeah, he's just crazy cool. His lightsaber designs, simple yet very interesting from a lore point of view because they're designed to give the Jedi practically like the middle finger. So it was really learning about that is so fun to me. And to see how he was actually terrified of Qui-Gon Jinn, I love that. Because it shows that even the most strongest of characters, they fear someone. And I'll go into a brief explanation of why he did fear Qui-Gon Jinn. It's because he feared Qui-Gon could have taken Anakin away from him, making him more, confident in the Jedi Order. So I did make a video covering that. It's an older one, but it checks out. So yeah, he's my number 3. Number 2, Darth Revan. Darth Revan is my phone background. I love Darth Revan. He is so cool how he mastered the light and dark side of the Force. His purple, green, red lightsaber, I'm pretty sure he even had blue at a time, is so cool to me because it shows the amount of development he went through to get there. So there's really nothing you can do to compare to him. And you see how he was so bounded by revenge. He brought back the Eternal Sith Emperor Darth Vitiate to life to kill him again. Now, I'm not going to spoil what happens, but yeah, he's crazy cool. And then how when he died, he came back to life as a Force ghost momentarily, but he came back to help. When his physical form died, his spiritual form came back as the light side, his physical form lived on as the dark side. So, in my mind, he might have been the chosen one. He had balance between the light and dark side, but only at the end of his life, like Anakin. And I just love how when his memory was erased and he was forced to work for the Sith Empire, it was cool because him and Darth Malak were like the power duo right there. You cannot stop them. But eventually I just remembered. I said Bastila Shan. It should have been Satele Shan that Darth Malgus fought. Bastila Shan was Darth Revan's wife in the future, and Satele Shan was their daughter, I believe. I could be mistaken, but I'm 99% sure that's how it goes. But yeah, I could go on and on about why I love Revan. Originally, he was my channel banner logo because I thought he was so cool. But then finally, my favorite character. It's tough because there's a lot of cool characters in Star Wars, and a lot of them are close contenders. There's Dooku, who awesome character. There's Rey, who had no reason whatsoever to be anybody's favorite, so he's not even on the list. But I feel like Obi-Wan Kenobi has to be my favorite character. The memes are unbelievable. His lightsaber form being Form 3 Sword Tzu is impeccable. He was the master of the Order that was basically he was the master for Form 3. He beat Anakin, beat Dooku. Well, he never beat Dooku. He beat Anakin, beat Darth Maul, killed Darth Maul, beat Anakin or Darth Vader again, and then at the very end, he pulled the ultimate troller move and let Vader kill him. So he was like the GOAT. His beard was crazy cool. His mullet in Episode 2 was peak. And then just his lines. He did a phenomenal job. His watching over Luke. In the original Kenobis show, script, it was going to be him working with Commander Cody. I believe Star Wars Theory did make a video covering that, so you guys should go check that out. Obviously, you all know who Star Wars Theory is. He's the biggest Star Wars YouTuber. But yeah, Obi-Wan Kenobi, so cool to me. And then also, the what-if potential of him is insane. Like, what if he was a Sith? What if he was the Chosen One? There's so many ideas. And I know some of y'all out there, you guys want me to do more what-ifs in regards to Obi-Wan and other Star Wars characters, which I will get to. I have a few ideas first. But yeah, I feel like with that concludes our favorite characters. And now we can discuss, I feel like we should discuss our favorite Star Wars memories, because it's May the 4th. Let's do that. But before we discuss ours, let us know yours in the comments. I'm interested to see what got you guys into Star Wars and what's your favorite memory. So let's have Ike start off, though. Let's see what yours is.
Okay, so I've been thinking about this while he was sharing his top 5 of who I was going to say, or what I was going to say was my favorite Star Wars memory, or what memories come to mind. So the first memory that I actually had with Star Wars would be at my grandma's house. We sat down and we binged from Phantom Menace all the way through Rise of Skywalker, because Rise of Skywalker had just come out. Like, I watched like Clone Wars and Rebels on Disney XD or whatever when I was younger, but I never really was interested in the movies, actually. I never wanted to watch them. I would tell my parents, like, what the heck is that? Why would I want to sit down and watch those movies? It's all fake. It's like, it doesn't matter. It's all this, that, and the other. But my grandma sat me down right after Rise of Skywalker had come out in theaters, and we sat down and watched all the movies. And it was just incredible. It sucked me in instantly. And it could have been just because my grandma told me I would like it, so I put a little extra effort into trying to enjoy it because she was there and she wanted to watch it. But it was still incredible. I still really, really, really enjoyed doing that, and it was just an incredible time watching that with my grandma. And we watched them all through. Like, we probably didn't get any sleep that day when we did that. There was no sleep to be gotten when we watched it. So I would say that's by far my favorite Star Wars memory. Would be the first time I was introduced to Star Wars itself.
It's a good memory. Also, hey CJ in the chat. My favorite memory is a lot. If we're talking like the first time I saw Star Wars, A New Hope, I get to see the opening crawl with a Tantive 4 moving, followed by the Star Destroyer. Nothing will ever beat that. If that's your first time experience watching Star Wars, that is Star Wars. But my favorite memory, and the thing that truly got me like hooked on Star Wars, was either Duel of the Fates between Obi-Wan and Darth Maul, or the Battle of the Heroes between Obi-Wan and Anakin. Now, before I get into why, I want to say the first time I actually was fully exposed, like I saw a movie, because I never actually sat through A New Hope. I was young, very squirrelish. But my first movie actually I watched was The Force Awakens. Terrible experience, I know. Like, how did I like Star Wars after that? But it got me interested. I was like, oh, okay, this is Star Wars. Jedi fight, and the Sith have a lot of daddy issues. So this is cool. So then I wanted to watch more. And that led me to Anakin, who had major daddy issues. He didn't have one. And then, so it was cool. I got to see a lot of things. And then I got in other Star Wars posters. And then for my favorite experience, though, between Darth Maul and Obi-Wan Kenobi, I'm going to talk about that first. My Star Wars posters. There's a great website you can use, Amazon. I just searched up cool Star Wars posters. We got the X-Wings flying away from the second Death Star. And then over here, I believe if I move enough, we got Darth Vader. And then obviously got Mando up there. And then in the corner of my room, I know you guys can't see that, but I have my Star Wars Lego collection of all my minifigures. But yeah, I get them from Amazon and really any website I can. But my favorite, back to the Darth Maul vs. Obi-Wan, that was originally my favorite Star Wars memory, because I was like, this is crazy. Music is amazing. Fighting is amazing. And we get to see two dudes duke it out with lightsabers. That's how all things should be done, by the way. If you have an issue with your bro, fight it out over lightsabers. You stop till death. Anyway, but yeah, that original was my favorite. You don't agree with me, Ike? Well, we'll see. But yeah, it wasn't one of my favorites. But then Obi-Wan versus Anakin. I don't even feel like I need to elaborate on that. was crazy. Used Amazon maybe 100 times. Yeah, we all have. My mom, we all have shopping addictions. But for Anakin and Obi-Wan, the music was even better. Well, it could be debatable, but the music was peak. The lightsaber fight was over 10 minutes long, so we got to see everything. We got to see a lot of Mustafar. It gave us so many clips to work with for making YouTube videos. So for me, it is incredibly helpful. And then we got the iconic high ground line. So it's like it's my favorite memory because then it inspired me to buy my own lightsabers, which I'll grab them later. I won't grab them yet. It inspired me to buy my own Darth Maul lightsabers. But yeah, it was so fun because then I started to train with lightsabers myself. Now I'm not a professional swordsman, but I do know how to use swords, so it's really fun. And then it was seeing them fight inspired me to get into it's over Anakin. I had the high ground. Exactly. Seeing them fight inspired me to be like, hey, I want to fight like that. So then I got into I got into wrestling for Star Wars but just because I wanted to if I could be like Obi-Wan, maybe one day I could have a fight over a lava hellscape. Yeah, Anakin. But yeah, so one of my favorite memories of all time, if not my favorite memory. But yeah. What is the next topic? I believe it is we discuss our favorite fan theories about Star Wars. Now, mine, I'm gonna save mine, but you tell yours first. But I feel like y'all are gonna like mine.
All right, so I have 3 that I brought with me today. They were the 3 that I talked over with some people. The first one I'm gonna say is the one that I'm not sure how much I believe, but Jar Jar's the Sith Lord.
No, that was mine. You can't say that.
Huh? Got it. Got him. I got him.
Dang it. Okay, I'll think of something else.
Maybe another few that I'd have to bring up outside of the Jar Jar's the Sith. I don't disbelieve the theory that Plagueis is Anakin's father by transforming through the Force using the midichlorians to literally impregnate Shmi Skywalker with Anakin.
Shmi. You gotta say it right.
Shmi.
You cursed that for Qui-Gon. It's Shmi.
All right. You're gonna correct me live. I see how it is.
You know it.
Okay. So I think that is another theory that is very plausible. But the third one that I'm gonna do, and one that I might actually make a video on, is Obi-Wan is the father of Luke and Leia. I think that's very plausible. If not that, I'll go into one more, and that might be that Obi-Wan's the father of Corky Craze. I think how you pronounce his last name from Clone Wars.
Yes.
Yeah, I think that's very plausible. But I'm excited to hear what Ty thinks after I took his thunder.
Well, as you said, I was gonna say the Darth Jar Jar theory, but thanks for stealing my thunder, Ike. Wow, how nice of you. But before I get to mine, Corgi being Obi-Wan's son, that makes a lot of sense. They're both British, and they have red hair, so they have to be related. Yeah, my theory, because I had to think of one on the spot, I feel like Yoda either is a drug addict or he's a Sith Lord. Ooh. Yeah, I know, very, very bold claims, but think about it. The drug addict one, yeah, he is the Lord of the Sith, Darth Jar Jar or Yoda. For the drug addict one, I have a lot of proof to back this up. He talks backwards. Why? Sometimes he talks normally, but in The Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi, you have to admit he acted like a crackhead. Yeah, I mean, I'm not crazy. He literally acted like one. But yeah, so clearly he must be on death sticks, or he's just having too much Rhydonium. But yeah, so he talks backwards. And there is no way you can be 900 years old and look like how he did. He's on death sticks. I promise you that. Now, for him being the Sith Lord, this actually has some real evidence to back this up. If not a Sith Lord, at least someone who used the dark side. So, as we all know, Yoda's been around for hundreds of years. And there's one time where he was fighting Count Dooku during the Clone Wars. And Dooku reached in with the Force, and he sensed a darkness in Yoda, like an actual darkness, matching that of Sidious's. However, Yoda's was contained. At least he thought it was, but we don't know for sure because the passage ends there. And then we also know we saw this literally in the Clone Wars when Yoda went to the Wellspring of Life and when he met the Wills. So that was interesting because we actually got to see Yoda's dark side. And besides giving me nightmares for years, it was crazy cool because he looked just like Gollum. Oh no, you can't donate in the chat. No, thank you, but no. Donations are never in this channel, at least never expected or even wanted because that's your guys' money. You guys should keep that. I'm just here to talk about Star Wars. I don't know. You could be different, but personally, I see no need for donations. I'm just doing this purely out of the joy. But yeah, back to Yoda. I feel like it is very plausible. If he's not a Sith, he has dark side energy within him. I feel like if he was a Sith, he might have been more powerful than Sidious. Sidious was just a crinkly old raisin. He was a human. He lived for only 114 years like a loser. Yoda, on the other hand, was 900 years old, fought Sidious, and he lost, but he was close. He was close. Also, hey, Dark Jedi, welcome to the live stream. Ooh, that is a sick that's a sick channel poster. That is crazy cool. Oh, Del Blue Bounty Hunter, welcome, man. What are all these well-distinguished gentlemen? Welcome. And just for you, Del Blue Bounty Hunter, Cad Bane is cool. He may not be our top 5, but he's cool. Anyway, so where was I? Oh, Yoda. So yeah, I feel like Yoda is a drug addict, meth head, and definitely a Sith Lord. Quote me on that too. Do you have any other fan theories you'd like to share, or should we move on to the next topic?
I think it's time to move on to the next topic.
All right. So before we get any further, if you guys have any questions for us, because maybe we want to do a Q&A at the end, make sure to leave them down in the chat down below. Multiple questions, if you want, would be fine. But the final thing we're going to be talking about is just, and I know it's like cliche, but I want to go over our ranking of Star Wars. Our movies and shows separate. If we want to just do movies, we can do that. Shows, we could also do that too. I feel like we should do Tales of the Underworld. It's pretty fire. But let's start with the movies first. Ike, would you like to take it away?
Yeah, this is quite the curveball. I did not have time to figure this one out.
I made sure to not tell you about this one.
Yeah, all right. So do I need to rank? Do I rank all 12 movies or 13?
Yes.
Okay. So if I'm ranking all 13, I'll start from the bottom and I'll go to the top. At number 13, I have the Rise of Skywalker. So as much as I'm a defender of the sequel trilogy, as much as I'm of a defender of it, I still think that there were some pros that could have been seen from the sequel trilogy. And I still see that the pros of the sequel trilogy, but the Rise of Skywalker was by far the one where they were trying to do a million different things, trying to fix what The Last Jedi did, because there being multiple people that created the sequel trilogy, and they both had completely different ways that they wanted to take this trilogy. So I felt like in that they completely messed that movie up and were trying to end something that didn't need to be ended. And if the best thing that they thought to do is to bring Palpatine back, that was a mistake even I can see as a defender of a lot of the things that they did.
Somehow Palpatine returned.
That basically sums up the whole movie. That really does. So my number 12 is actually going to be the Clone Wars movie. I know that this feels extremely low for the Clone Wars movie, but let me explain. I felt like the dialogue was really bad. I felt like they could have done a better job of making it feel like a movie rather than 2 Clone Wars arcs that got shoved together. Because you can tell like when the episode was supposed to end, because the character was just stand around, and then like they would jump into something like it's the next episode. So like they could have done a better job with that. So, and then the clunky dialogue was like the beginning of Clone Wars. The dialogue could have used some improvement upon it. So I think that the dialogue really could have been better for the movie. So with that being said, as much as it was a good movie, let me actually preface something real fast. I think that every Star Wars movie is at least good. I don't think that they're all great. I don't have any Star Wars movies that I couldn't turn on and enjoy aspects of the movie. Not saying I wouldn't fall asleep during watching some of them, but I could watch any Star Wars movie and enjoy myself doing so, because it is a franchise that I have fallen in love with, and I don't think there's any Star Wars project I can turn on except for Visions and not be fully invested in what's going on. I'm being completely honest with that. So now we're at what, number 11? Yeah, number 11, I have The Last Jedi. So as much as I'm a defender of the sequels, as I've said, they're not the best movies that have been offered, not even close. They're not. But The Last Jedi, if there is one pro that I'm going to give this movie, it is by far the best looking Star Wars movie we've ever gotten. Visually, the visuals were top tier. Like, if you're going to watch a movie and you don't know Star Wars and you don't like Star Wars, but you want a movie that visually looks good, that's the movie you go to. It is visually astounding. I am still in shock when I go back and rewatch it, just how clean and crisp it came out. It was perfect visuals. Now, for what they did bad, they butchered the character of Luke Skywalker. I'm sorry, I can defend the sequels to a point. They did literally the worst possible thing with Luke. They turned him into somebody that completely, like, doesn't care, is willing to kill his nephew because of dark thoughts that he had, but was willing to try to save the most evil man in the galaxy at one point, being his father in the original trilogy. So the characters just don't seem like the same person. So those are like my big issues with that movie. So now that we move on to the top 10, and number 10, and here's where, like, every movie, like, I would tell people, I recommend that you go watch this movie. And at number 10 is Solo, A Star Wars Story. The only Star Wars movie that we've ever gotten to lose money at the box office. The only Star Wars movie that's ever lost money at the box office was Solo, A Star Wars Story. It was a great movie. Don't get me wrong. A good movie. I liked the villain of Dryden Voss. I liked the character of Kira. I liked Lando in this. I actually might like Donald Glover's Lando, better than I like Billy D. Williams' Lando. And that is something that I will die on that hill. I thought that part of Solo was an amazing thing to see, and was just great to actually see that side story, even though it wasn't something that we needed, and to see how he got his name and to see how him and Chewbacca met. It was really enjoyable to actually see that. So that is something that I will always be in support of, is that movie, even though there are people that I know really, really, really hate that movie, and I don't understand why. So my number 9 now is going to be The Force Awakens. I give The Force Awakens the edge over Solo for 2 reasons. Kylo Ren was a really, really badass villain in that first movie. He struck fear into people like Vader did, even on to maybe Vader's level. Pausing a bullet in mid-air, just keeping it there, was really cool when I saw that. And it was amazing to see. And not only that, I liked the character of Han Solo and Leia both in this movie. And this movie, actually, as much as Rey was already starting to get on my nerves, she wasn't awful in this movie by any means. So I can't really say anything else on this movie. I don't really have anything else to say. It was a good movie. Nothing more than just a good movie. And now we are on now we're down to like the last 8. Yeah. No, 7, 8. Oh, I'm lost. Okay. So the next one in the
number 8 right now.
8. Okay. So number 8 is going to be, and this one hurts me to say it, I'm actually going to put Attack of the Clones at my number 8 spot. Attack of the Clones was a good movie.
I think it's time we end the live stream now. You're done.
So
Continue.
Was a good movie. It was. And number 8 feels really low. I get that number 8 feels extremely low. And I get it. But the clunky dialogue with him and Padme was not desired by me at all. I don't like romance in anything. I don't like romance in Star Wars. I find it very disgusting to watch. So with it being really clunky in this movie, and like it not being, and it trying to tell a bunch of stories in one movie, as much as some of the movies can do that really well, it suffered from that. And it suffered from George Lucas using a lot of CGI in this movie, as did The Phantom Menace, but I feel like this one suffered a lot more from it than Phantom Menace did, legitimately. And that could have been because I personally, the first time watching it, liked Phantom Menace more, so I hold it in a better light. But Attack of the Clones is a good movie. Don't get me wrong. Like, it says something when Attack of the Clones can be that good, but be number 8 on your list. And it says something about the movie for sure, if you can have it like that. So I feel like it's a good movie. Now, my number 6 spot goes to The Phantom Menace. So I was just talking about this. Phantom Menace is a great movie. I loved Duel of the Fates. Probably the best lightsaber duel in all of Star Wars, in my opinion. It was the best. The music was the best. Everything was the best. I loved this movie. Darth Maul was great. BTW, the music in the background reminds me of Cody Rhodes' theme WWE Kingdom by Downstate. I don't know what that is. I'm sorry.
My friend is a huge WWE fan, and I like the music. It's good. It definitely is very reminiscent of that. Personally, I prefer the Undertaker's theme, but yeah, definitely.
Okay, so I was talking about Phantom Menace, and it just everything felt really good in this movie. I actually liked Jake Lloyd's portrayal of Anakin in this movie. I don't know why he got so much hate, and Jar Jar was just hilarious in this movie. It was at least once every 15 minutes he was making me laugh, and that really was great to see. In that he was still able to make me laugh, even though people hated him and like all of that. Like actually something that a lot of people might not know, but Ahmed Best, who is the actor who played Jar Jar, almost committed suicide after his role as Jar Jar because people were belittling him online so much that he almost committed suicide on his own life. So if that tells you anything that you need to know, it's that people do take that to heart. I mean, it was, I don't understand why he got so much hate, but the movie itself was just amazing. It was such a great movie. So now that we are in the top 5, so this is my number 5, and this might frustrate a lot of people. Number 5 is Empire Strikes Back. And I know Ty is not going to like that at all.
You're wrong. You're wrong. Just saying it. You're wrong.
And now something you might need to know about Ty is he does not handle when someone does not share his own beliefs on something.
That is not true. I just don't like when people have very incorrect opinions.
Okay.
You like to act like sure. But yes,
Okay, so back to what I was saying is okay, so back to The Empire Strikes Back being at number 5. So it was such a good movie. It was a good movie. There were just scenes that felt extremely slow in the movie. Like I liked the Hoth scene, but did it really need to be like 20 minutes that it took them to do that? I don't think so. It was a good movie, and it's at number 5 on my list. So I mean, it's obviously did something right if it's making top 5. The I love you, I know scene, like I told you, I find that very cringy. I don't like romance, so it wasn't great. The I am your father, I will still give you, is the single best line we've ever gotten in Star Wars. I will give anybody of the day of the week. That was the best line of Star Wars that we've ever gotten, but it is not the best movie in Star Wars. It feels slow in some spots, and it feels outdated in others. I mean, anybody on any day of the week can say the scene where Luke and Leia made out, it does not age well now that we know that. It doesn't. It has to reflect the movie just a little bit that happened. It does. But now moving into my number 4, and that's A New Hope. A New Hope, I know some of the issues. It does not hold up as well as Empire does. I completely understand what you guys are saying. It holds up probably worse. And the duel between Obi-Wan and Darth Vader is slow, and I get it. Like they just slap the lightsabers around a little bit, and then Darth Vader goes in for the killing blow. There's nothing insanely special about it, but it's the thing that started this franchise off. Without A New Hope, nobody has Star Wars to enjoy anything more than A New Hope. Without A New Hope being there first, and I will stand on that and die on that hill as much as anybody will. And that it at one point was my favorite Star Wars movie. Until I gave the next 3 in line a actual solid chance to actually draw me in, and I gave it a solid chance because at one point I was like, I will never give a movie a better chance than I gave A New Hope. But that now we'll get into my top 3. And you guys, if you know all the movies, you guys will know what the next 3 are. And depending on how you feel, these 3 movies are either going to make you very happy with where I put them or very unhappy. But my number 3, I am actually in my mood that I'm in right now, is Revenge of the Sith. So with me seeing this in theaters, I saw it twice in theaters. I saw it last Sunday with my mom, and then I saw it last Monday with my best friend. And I saw it both times. They were both a later night scenes. One, the theater was extremely full. The other was not. The movie hit different both times, and it was such a good movie. But I cannot give it, just like because it's such a good movie, like a free pass on everything. There were things in that movie that I did not like at all. And something that I'll say, the Padme and Anakin stuff. I know, like I was just talking to actually Morgan from the Blue Bounty Hunter. We were talking about this and how I was talking about the love scenes with Anakin and Padme in the movie, and how I give more of the edge. Like I give Padme a break on the cringy love scenes, and I like reflect all what I think of Anakin. But with the love scenes. I can't handle the love scenes very well. Like I did outwardly make an expression when the love scenes came up, and actually I planned to like get popcorn and drink refills when I was at the theater around those love scenes, so I didn't have to see them on the screen. So
Hater much?
hater much. Oh, you should talk, Act White. Um, so I mean, it's a great movie. The Anakin Obi-Wan on Mustafar is some of the best Star Wars that we get. Do not get me wrong; it is a great movie. It's amazing. But there are just two movies that personally hit me on a harder level than that. So my top two, at my number 2 spot, and it actually took me a long time to actually decide this. So Morgan thought he was, I'm not Morgan, Ty thought he was hitting me with a really hard curveball when he told me to rank my 12 Star Wars, all the movies, but I already knew my ranking going into anybody that asked me. So this one always bounces around. The top 3 always bounce around for what my favorite is. Like if I was the day I watched Revenge of the Sith, if you asked me what my favorite movie is, I would have told you Revenge of the Sith was. But my number 2 is Return of the Jedi. I get that people think that it's the worst of the original trilogy movies. I get that. But this movie for me was the best movie of the original trilogy when I first watched it. Luke and Vader in the throne room is some of the best Star Wars that I have ever seen, and I will die on that hill. I love every character in this movie. Han, Luke, Leia, Vader, Sidious. Some of their best movies are those movies. For Luke, Leia, Han, and Chewbacca, this movie is by far the best in my opinion for each of them, those characters. It was a great movie. I felt like it is by far out of the 3 has the least clunky dialogue of the 3 original trilogy movies, least clunky dialogue, and holds up the best today in my opinion. So great movie. The original trilogy by far is my favorite trilogy of any movies that I've ever watched. If someone told me that if I had to pick 3 movies, a trilogy that I had to watch for the rest of my life, it would be the original trilogy because I always am finding some small, minute detail every time I watch that movie. It's cool. Now, my number 1. We were talking about Andor recently. My number 1 Star Wars movie is Rogue One. Rogue One is by far my favorite Star Wars movie right now. Rogue One, they did such a good job with us knowing when we went into that every character was going to die at the end of the movie. They did such a good job with you falling in love with each of the characters. Jyn Erso and Cassian Andor were my favorite characters in that movie and still are to this day, with Krennic being in there as well, for including the villains as well. They are the 3 best characters that I saw, and it's why I'm giving Andor such the break right now, even though it made me almost fall asleep in the last 3 episodes, is because I respect those characters so much, and I enjoy them so much. And the Vader hallway scene might actually be one of my favorite scenes in all of cinema. We're not talking to Star Wars, like all of cinema. It was amazing to watch them go slaughter the rebels. Like, it was incredible to watch him do that. It was just a movie that was action packed from the beginning. It might actually be the only Star Wars movie that I would classify as an action film is Rogue One. There was almost never a scene that there wasn't action going on. If it was like there was just a second there where they were talking and then it was action instantly after that, it is by far the most jam-packed movie to me for action outside of maybe Revenge of the Sith, but it is my favorite Star Wars movie. So that is my ranking of all 13 Star Wars movies. Now I'm going to let Ty take it away on his ranking.
I'm glad I can finally speak now. All right. Well, let's start with my least favorites because, well, we all got to start somewhere. And I'm just going to say 2 of them at the same time because they are neck and neck for me for my least favorite ones. The Last Jedi, and obviously The Rise of Trash. So, I don't like them. Visually, they're stunning. They're beautiful. Visually, they are gorgeous. That's about it, though. The lightsaber fights were very bad. They destroyed the reputations of Luke and Han. Well, not Han so much, not really. But they really just shattered the way Luke was built up. You mean to tell me that Luke went from seeing someone who murdered children and being like, yeah, they're still good in that dude, to being like, oh no, my nephew had a bad dream. Death. It's like, whoa, I must have missed something because that's not my Luke. Even Mark Hamill said that. But yeah, I don't know. I didn't like the dialogue, didn't like the story. The thing with Canto Bight, what was the point of that? It was useless, really. And for Rise of Skywalker, somehow Palpatine returned, sums it up pretty evenly. For after that, though, unfortunately, it will be Solo. It was good. I liked that we got to see Han Solo, Chewbacca, Kira, and everybody else, Beckett. But, I mean, the dialogue kind of was forced. It was not necessary. some things are just better left unsaid. So it was a good show or a good movie overall. Like you said, it was the only Star Wars movie so far that is not broken even. It lost money, which really sucks because it was a fun movie. It wasn't great, but it was fun. So I mean, if I had to recommend it to someone, I'd say, hey, watch this, but like, just know what you're getting into. After that, I feel like it has to be probably the Force Awakens. This movie, I don't hate. I think it's okay. I don't like Rey. I never liked her character. I thought she had no character development whatsoever. Finn, however, I really, really liked Finn, and I was fully on board with the Finn being Mace Windu's grandson theory or son. I don't know, but I was fully supportive of that because I thought like it would make a lot of sense. It'd be cool to see the connections. Then there was a theory of Mace Windu being Snoke, so it was cool. A lot of theories running rampant of like who Kylo Ren is, like all that stuff, and then like whose parents were. Then found out she was the daughter of Palpatine's clone son. I was like, oh, okay, that's weird. But anyway, like you said, Kylo Ren was probably one of my favorite characters in that movie, just because he was so unique. A crossguard lightsaber with an unstable kyber crystal. I love that detail so much. But yeah, I don't know. I'm a Legends fan, so I never really had high hopes going into the sequel trilogy, just because I felt like it was unnecessary. We had a sequel trilogy, but like we didn't need a Disney sequel trilogy. And then for after that, Attack of the Clones. I like Attack of the Clones. I'm a huge prequel fan. I mean, that's kind of like the only thing I cover on my channel, prequels and the originals. I liked it. I thought it was good. The dialogue, I can't excuse that. The I don't like sand. It's coarse, rough, irritating, and it gets everywhere. That some things are best left unsaid. But yeah, what else was good? I liked it. I thought overall fun movie. CGI definitely could have been better, but we got to see Jango Fett's death, which the deleted version, in my opinion, is much better. But yeah, I liked it. I thought it was good. CGI could have been better. Dialogue could have been better. Moving on is A New Hope. Nothing against. I liked the movie. I thought it was great. Because now we're getting in the part where it's like the movies are all fantastic, but I have to order them in a way. So I know Ike does not agree with me whatsoever. I like A New Hope. I'm not saying it's bad, but it could have been better. Okay, Ike, that's enough out of you. But yes, it was good. It was our first introduction to Star Wars. The opening scene was amazing. Darth Vader was incredible. James Earl Jones did a fantastic job. CGI wise, very lackluster. Props wise, it was really good. I thought it was good. Enjoyed it. It felt like a good movie, a solid movie. It had a beginning, middle, and end. I'm in film production, so it's like all the things that the movie had, it aligns with how a movie should be made. It was fun, entertaining, and it had a message. I like that. A good movie. I give it a solid like 8.5 out of 10. It was really good. Moving on next is The Phantom Menace. This movie, very slow. Jar Jar Binks got introduced though, so we got to see that deformed little Gungan. So yeah, it was cool to see him in. Ahmed Best, I like Jar Jar Binks, so Ahmed Best, I like him. He did a good job with Jar Jar. He worked with what he had. Jake Lloyd also did a fantastic. They were good. I feel like they did a fantastic job. I love the Obi-Wan versus Darth Maul and Qui-Gon versus all of them too. I thought it was amazing. Liam Neeson is so cool. I love his actor. I don't know who you are, but I will find you and I will kill you is hands down the best line ever. Not in Star Wars, but great line. And then Ian McGregor, I like him as an actor. He did a great job. And then for the next movie has to be Return of the Jedi. A good movie, a solid movie. I know. Ike is like, dude, you're going off on the rail, man. But Return of the Jedi, it was a good movie. Jabba, cool man. Jabba's a big fat slug. What's not to love? But I feel like there's a lot of wasted potential with Boba Fett. So it was sad to see him go. But I mean, he got brought back. Of course he did. But it was good. I liked it. The fight scene with Darth Vader and Luke on the Death Star was amazing. Palpatine Ian McDermott did a fantastic job with his character. I loved it. The Battle of Endor, and we got to hear the iconic line, "I shall drop." Oh, be quiet, Ike. Oh, be quiet. But yeah, I liked it. I loved it. Also, if you guys hear any sound in the background, sorry about that. But yeah, I liked it. I thought it was good. I thought it was fantastic. Even now, we're going on to put that away. Now I'm going on to probably the top 3 because I don't think I missed any. I covered the sequels. I have one original trilogy left. Oh wait, I forgot the Clone Wars movie. I'm gonna put that above the Force Awakens. It's okay. It's not bad. It's not great. Dialogue was bad. CGI was could have been better. Stinky though. I mean, Stinky. What's not to like? He's a fat slug, a fat baby slug. So we didn't know they could reproduce at that time, but they can. And the slugs are hideous. But yeah, okay, could have been much better. Like you said, it felt like a bunch of episodes compiled together. But now for my top 3. Or wait, there is The Empire Strikes Back, Revenge of the Sith, and Rogue One. Okay, yeah, top 3. At number 3, Rogue One. I like it. I love that movie so much. 9.5 out of 10 for me. Fantastic movie. You know all the characters are going to die. Oh, finally, you agree with me. You know all the characters are going to die regardless. It is just a matter of how they're going to die. And the Darth Vader scene on the hallway, phenomenal. It was amazing. Unfortunately, though, it's as good as it may be. It's not as good as The Empire Strikes Back. The "I am your father" scene is Rogue One is like a 6. I think we might need to have an extended talk just about that. But yeah.
Out of 5? A 6 out of 5, you mean? I completely agree with your statement.
5, I agree with that one. But for Attack or The Empire Strikes Back, it is what finally gave Star Wars the boost it needed to people to be like, okay, this franchise is it. This is sci-fi. I love the movie. I will watch it any day of the week. It is amazing. The action, I mean, it could have been better. The lightsaber fights were, revolutionary for their time. Could have been better. I loved it though. A phenomenal movie. The music was amazing. The fight scenes were really good. The battle on Hoth was good. And the dialogue, man. "I am your father." And then the "I love you." I know. I mean, who doesn't want to say that to somebody? So yeah. But finally, number 1, Revenge of the Sith. I saw it in theaters. I mean, I watched it a lot, but when I saw it in theaters, it reignited a spark in me. I love it. It is it is my favorite Star Wars movie. It is also one of my favorite movies of all time. So watching that it was so good. I got to see a lot of main characters die, like Ki-Adi-Mundi, which he sucks. Who else? Stas Ali, all those characters, they all died. It was cool. It showed that they're like the Empire's here now. The Jedi have fallen. The Republic is gone. It is time for the rebellion to go on. And I love action movies. So to see the Battle of Coruscant, all the battles throughout the galaxy happen was amazing. The music, second to none. It is amazing. Battle of the Heroes, the Battle over Coruscant was amazing. So yeah, really nothing I can say that people haven't already said about it. But finally, I feel like with that all done, we're not going to discuss shows because there's too many of them, and my attention span is really short. So we're going to discuss now the questions. So thank you guys for leaving questions in the comments. But before we get to those, I have a few questions I want to ask Ike, and I imagine you have some for me. So my question for you, these will not be Star Wars related mostly. My first question is, though, who is your favorite Star Wars actor?
Okay, favorite Star Wars actor. I would have to say that my favorite Star Wars actor is probably Ewan McGregor. If I'm basing it off of the actor that I'd like to meet, Ewan did by far the best performance and convincing performance, in my opinion, for who he was portraying. He seems like, even outside of being Obi-Wan, that he is like the closest to his character. Like if you base like comparing it to like Hayden Christensen, Hayden is nothing like Darth Vader or Anakin Skywalker, but Ewan feels everything like Obi-Wan Kenobi. So that'd be who my favorite actor is.
Interesting. Next question I have. What is your favorite franchise besides Star Wars?
Ooh, besides Star Wars. Besides Star Wars. Probably the Karate Kid franchise, the 3 movies, and Cobra Kai would probably be my favorite franchise outside of Star Wars.
Yes, the Cobra Kai, the hiya hiya. Okay, I watched Cobra Kai. I'm a huge Karate Kid fan. I'm a nerd of them too. But yeah, those good. I like them. I'm just keep it at 2 questions. Actually, I'm gonna have one more. Who's your favorite character from the MCU? I'm very interested to hear this.
First, I will shots fired. I don't like the MCU at all. I don't like Marvel. I
Wow.
have
Shame
not
on
been
you,
a
first of all.
fan of Marvel,
I mean, you have
but
to like
I would
someone or find DC. Who's your favorite character from DC?
no. I have a favorite Marvel character. My 3 favorite movies in Marvel are the 3 Deadpool movies, and Deadpool's my favorite character in Marvel.
Okay, understandable. Deadpool is
Yeah.
crazy. As he said, he's the MCU Jesus, as he said in his Deadpool Wolverine movie.
Yeah. He's Marvel Jesus. Yep, that's what he said.
Exactly, Marvel Jesus. All right, with my questions out of the way, what are yours?
Okay, mine actually have nothing to do with Star Wars at all. They're going to be 3 non-Star Wars related questions.
All right, I'm interested. Let's hear them.
And first one is, who is your favorite YouTuber, Star Wars or non-Star Wars related, of YouTube?
Oh, shoot, favorite YouTuber. Now, I'm going to need to think about that one because I have a lot. Star Wars, Star Wars Theory. I love that guy. He inspired me to do this. If we're talking about favorite YouTuber in general, I'm going to need to look at my subscriptions. I'm going to need to see because I have a lot, but like there's very few that I would recommend as like my all-time favorites. So let me take a look at this real quick. Probably, I mean, if I had to, I know Mr. Beast is like the go-to answer, but I mean, he's not for everybody. So for me, it's probably a tie between Dan TDM and Technoblade. I'm a huge Minecraft fan and a video game fan. I love video games so much. But Dan TDM inspired me for YouTube. He was like the OG inspiration. And then Technoblade, rest in peace, was he. I love him. His videos were amazing. So it was a shame to see him pass away so early on. But those guys, inspirations to me. But yeah, those are my favorite guys, favorite YouTubers.
All right, fair enough. I know who one of them is, so I don't feel like I'm completely in the blank on YouTube. So, okay, my second question for you is, what is one weird food combo that you like, but not a lot of people will agree with you on?
Ooh, well, my family always says this is gonna give me a heart attack. I love salt and I love burgers. I take salt from In-N-Out and put it all over the burger, and I just eat. It's like a salty burger. It is
Salt and burgers are amazing.
Dude, I know.
Salt on burgers. What?
I'm a picky eater, so it's like I don't really like a lot of foods, but salt and burgers, it's good. It's like diabetes right there, but it is good. But yeah, that's like my combo right there.
All right. And now this question for people to be able to hear live so that you can't like backtrack is, when you hit 10K, would you eat a spoonful of mayo on camera?
If I hit 10K, I will do that. I will. You can mark my words. When I hit 10K, I will eat a spoonful of mayonnaise. You guys can clip that right there. Clip it, I dare you. I will eat a spoonful of mayonnaise. Yeah, so that's what I'm going to do for my 10K. I'll eat a spoonful of mayonnaise. Do it. I want to see this happen overnight.
Everybody better click that button now.
I swear, if that actually happens, like overnight, I hit 10K and I have to eat a spoonful of mayonnaise. That is, I mean, 10K is awesome, but mayonnaise, the whole thing's great. All right. But finally,
I told you.
Exactly, yeah. With the art questions all out of the way, let's get
now
on.
Scroll it.
Yeah,
there was questions we were asked pretty early on. Let's see.
Yeah. What do you guys think about the possible show about Darth Plagueis and Sidious we would have gotten if Lucasfilm had not been sold? I'll start off if that's okay with you.
Yeah.
I would have loved to see a Darth Plagueis and Sidious show. Those are some of my favorite characters. I love the Sith. A lot of my videos on the channel are dedicated to the Sith. So Darth Plagueis and the Acolyte, as much as I hate the Acolyte, I want to see more of Darth Plagueis. He's a cool character. and Darth Sidious and Plagueis at the same time, we could see prior to the Phantom Menace would have been insane. I believe I saw versions of the script, so from what I saw, it would have been crazy. But yeah, I would have loved to see it. How about you?
Oh, it goes without saying. It would be one of the best shows that I think we would have ever gotten if Lucasfilm had not been sold to Disney. I really have looked back on what George Lucas's plans were and just how much Disney messed up with what he had planned. Like there was a recent show that was announced, like Star Wars Underworld or whatever, that George Lucas was going to make, like a live action show for the Underworld. And it's like, there's a lot of things that he was going to do at Star Wars. And I would have loved to have seen a Darth Plagueis and Sidious show. I still want one. I still want Disney to give us one.
Couldn't have said it better myself. The next question is, what are y'all's...
Okay. No.
Hey, I'm the one clicking here. What are y'all's opinions on the Mandalorian and Grogu movie coming up? I'm excited. We could see a Gladiators type match. Oh, count me in. We could see Mando, Grogu, maybe Luke Skywalker, possibly. I'm excited. I think it's going to be fun to see. We did touch on it briefly earlier, but overall, I'm excited. It's going to be a fun movie. When it comes out in theaters, I don't know if I'll cover it on the channel, but I'll definitely mention it somewhere. But yeah, I'm excited for it. How about you?
It goes without saying, like we said earlier in this is like one of the better movies I think we're going to get from Star Wars. I do not know how they can mess up the Mandalorian and Grogu, really. Like, I don't see them doing that.
Of course. It's like a surefire way of getting money. Next question. What is y'all's favorite Star Wars actor? Ooh, that's a good one.
I already answered that.
Covered yours, so I guess you don't need to answer. For me, though, it's tough. It's between three people. It's either between Ian McGregor, Ian McDermott, or Hayden Christensen. Mark Hamill, obviously, we got Harrison Ford, all those characters. They did a phenomenal job, but they didn't leave as big as impression as these three characters did. From an acting standpoint, Ian McDermott, he did the best acting-wise. If we're going off of like who I like watching in interview clips and just in general, Ian McGregor. I feel like overall, Ian McGregor probably is my number 2, but Ian McDermott is my number 1 Star Wars actor. He did a phenomenal job. And then for our final, 2 more questions. Okay. This one, non-Star Wars question. Pineapple on pizza, yes or no? I want to hear you answer first. I want to hear this.
Okay. Pineapple on pizza is an abomination to man. It is the worst thing that since anything in the whole world. It's gross.
I was prepared to kick you off the stream. You answered correct.
Yeah, no. I had actually like pineapple pizza from all kinds of places. Like my friends told me, "Oh no, this is the best stuff." It's like, no. The answer is no. It's the most disgusting thing I've put in my mouth. It's disgusting.
I agree. It is an abomination. If you like pineapple on pizza, first of all, subscribe to the YouTube channel. Second of all, you're mentally deranged. No offense. Pineapple on pizza, though, I mean, it's like two things don't go together. It's like metal and cobalt. It's like, what? It doesn't even make sense. And I said that because I saw metal and I was just thinking of like a bat. So yeah, I don't whatever. But yeah, pineapple on pizza, no. You can like it, but no. Next question. What do you guys think about Skeleton Crew?
Ooh.
I loved it. I thought it was a fun show. It was not perfect. It was far from it. It was a good show, though. If you guys haven't seen it, definitely give it a check out. But I loved it. It was fun, entertaining. Jude Law, which I know it's Jude Nanawood. I call him Jude Law because that's his actor's name. I liked him. Great character. We got to see pirates finally in Star Wars. I was sad Hondo Ohnaka was not in it, but I liked it overall. With Ad-Adin, I thought it was a great plot line. It didn't mess with the. You've seen it. It's not your favorite. Well, sorry, CJ, you're wrong. But yeah, it was a good show. I enjoyed it. It was fun. It wasn't like incredible. Like, oh my gosh, this is the best thing ever. It was fun. I liked it. A solid 7.5 out of 10. I loved it. It was a great show. How about you, Ike?
I firmly agree with what you said. It's not the best thing that we got, not even close. I know a lot of people said it was like breath of fresh air with what happened before in 2024, but still, even taking 2024 out of it and just comparing to other Star Wars projects, I was not the hugest fan of Skeleton Crew. I thought it was like an 8, maybe an 8.5 out of 10. It's like a solid B tier show. It's a good show. It was fun, but it wasn't really anything more than that to me. Not saying I'd be opposed to the second season, but it's not like something I'm jumping up and down for if they announced a second season.
I agree, yeah. And for, I believe, the final question, will we be covering Tales of the Underworld on our channels? Me personally, I might. I'm not saying no, but I might cover it. It's interesting. I'll definitely give it some time though, so I can like let the theories, lore all set in my head. But I mean, it's not improbable. I might cover it. I'll let you answer, but I have a feeling you definitely would cover it.
Yes, I will be covering it on my channel. Actually, we had a power outage last night at my house while I was recording it, and it destroyed all my recordings, so I have to redo it all. I would have had it out this morning if it hadn't been completely destroyed by the power going out in the middle of the night last night.
Ooh, you should have just, create your own power then.
Yeah, it's not that easy.
I mean, if we could create Bluetooth with rocks and dirt, we could do it. But yeah, if there's no, also sorry, in the background, that's my dog. Also, if there is no more questions, I believe that wraps it up.
Yeah, I don't see any other questions. I'm monitoring the chat on my phone. I do not see any other questions.
I think that's it.
Yeah.
Hey, I think this was a really fun live stream. I would love to do more of these in the future. If you guys want, once the live stream is ended, if you could, one more question. What do you think about Fortnite in Star Wars Battle Pass? I mean, I used to play Fortnite all the time. I feel like Fortnite only does collaborations now. So
more questions are coming in now. I think.
Oh no! We were so close to leaving.
Wow,
it's fine.
That's so.
We'll answer them. Yeah, I'll cover these briefly. I'm excited for Fortnite and Star Wars. I might play, probably won't though. How about you, Ike?
It was very cool to see. I did see like the ad when it was at Star Wars Celebration and on YouTube. It's definitely exciting. I'm not a huge Fortnite player. I play occasionally, so I might grab myself a Star Wars skin or two. But really, I think it's just a good marketing thing for Star Wars to be able to do that, to try to get people to be interested in Star Wars, because a lot of younger people play Fortnite that might not know Star Wars, and vice versa. It might get Fortnite some people that are Star Wars fans that are maybe older or have walked away from it for one reason or another. So I think it's a better marketing thing than anything for Star Wars and Fortnite both.
Those youngins, they'll be coming over to Star Wars, sharing their Fortnite ideologies with us. Unacceptable. And for maybe the final question, we don't know. What do you guys think of the ending of Mandalorian? I'm imagining season 3. I thought it was cool. I enjoyed it. Season 3 definitely wasn't as good as season 2. I liked it though. I thought it left the doors open for a lot of possible continuations. But yeah, I enjoyed it. I thought it was good. How about you?
I thought that, like I've told you, I'm a defender of season 3. I really enjoyed season 3. I think that the ending was a really good ending. And as he said, it will set up whatever Star Wars wants it to set up. It can set up a lot of different possibilities continuing with that story.
Oh, for sure. I mean, unless people want to save their questions for the last minute, I think that is it. Thank you all so much for joining today. Happy May the 4th, everybody. I hope y'all enjoyed this. And if you're not subscribed, CJ. If we could delete one Star Wars character, who would it be? Rey. I'm just gonna say Rey. I did not like her character. It should have been about Finn and Poe Dameron. Maybe Palpatine, but no. Rey had unnecessary.
That's a very hard question. There's quite a few I think that I would delete, but even though, as Ty has bashed me multiple times in this live stream for, I am a fan of Acolyte, but the character I delete.
You're wrong.
I would delete Mother Anisea from Star Wars.
Interesting choice. CJ, sorry, I'll stop. No, you don't need to stop. We love these questions. Hey, we got nothing going on today anyway. But yeah, I believe that wraps it up. Unless you guys want to keep asking more, which totally feel free to do. But yeah, I hope y'all enjoyed today's live stream. Thank you so much, Kenobis Korner, for joining me. Maybe finally I'll let you free. Maybe I'll let you go today.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
I don't know. Maybe I'm not in the best of moods. You never know. Oh, you have more. Oh, yeah. If you want to ask him, go ahead. But yes,
Or better suggestion, when we're off the live stream, this is on his channel. Just go spam a bunch of questions in his comments.
Yeah. Spam all your questions in the comments, and to make sure I have to respond, do it multiple times. Wait, that's not good for me. I have to respond to them.
Good advice.
That's whatever. You guys want to leave your questions? Go ahead. You want to leave future live stream ideas? Go right ahead. People I should collaborate with? I'm not opposed to working with others. I play nice, unless it's with Ike, in which case, okay, I'm kidding. Ike's awesome, man. You guys, if you're not already, subscribe to Kenobis Korner. He is a major helper and definitely friend of the channel and of personality, and personally too. So give him a check out. Make sure to watch his shorts, but also make sure to spam in his comments. Just a Star Wars nerd is superior. We all know it. We will beat him in the subscriber war. When is
It's a good question.
Yeah, okay. This is actually interesting. If you guys have checked out our last live stream, it was between me, just a Star Wars nerd, Kenobis Korner, W Bounty Hunter, and a guy who loves Star Wars. We are planning on continuing it over the summer, sometime where the summer is a safe bet. It's just difficult. Our schedules are all very busy. But yeah, it definitely will be very soon. If Ike has more information, feel free to share.
Yeah, I have just a little bit more information on this topic than Ty does at the moment. I did do a live stream a couple of nights ago with Mike on my channel talking about Andor Season 2, and I would talk to him after the live stream about the possibility of us doing that live stream, and he is saying that it does have to be after Andor Season 2, and because he will be extremely busy trying to film all those episodes and won't have time to be able to like sacrifice like a 6-hour live stream. So, and that's kind of what it's going to take for our topic on hand. So the safe bet is after Andor Season 2, which it's like we end in like a couple of weeks, but I have some personal things going on in my personal life that will be taking away from that possibility. I will not be at my home base being able to make the content. I will not be home, so I cannot be making content at that time. So a safe bet would hopefully be early June, maybe mid-June, but I don't think we'll be waiting much longer than that.
I say that's like a safe bet too.
Yeah. So it has still definitely been in discussion with all four of us. We have tried to be able to find a time that works. I mean, I thought I had a time with Mike recently, but then something happened with Ty and Morgan where the times just didn't line up as well. So times just didn't line up as well. So, well, don't worry. We are still planning to do it. I know the first part was in January, but schedules have been extremely busy. I mean, 3 of us are still in school, so school kind of takes away a lot of our time during the day.
Not me. I'm an elementary school dropout. Yeah. All right. Well, this will probably be the last question of the evening before we sign off. If y'all could make your own Star Wars character, would they be a Jedi, Sith, Bounty Hunter, Mandalorian, and what would be their name? I've thought about this several times. Mine would probably be a Gray Jedi, because I mean, the Jedi too restricted, the Sith evil. The Sith are awesome though. I'm more of a Sith guy myself. I'd create like a Sith Jedi-ish character. He'd have a lot of resemblance to Mandalorians too, like Revan. That's like my ideal character. I'd probably name him something along the name of Jason. I don't know. I just like the name Jason. Like Jason Solo's cool. Jason Bond is cool. Or Jason Bourne is cool. But yeah, that's probably who I would make. How about you, Ike?
I've thought about this a little bit, and I've bounced around from what I would decide, but I think in my moment that I am right now, I'd actually be a bounty hunter. I'd be a bounty hunter that isn't exactly, you wouldn't classify them as evil or as a good guy. I'd be the guy where the highest bidder gets my work. I would be what I would do. I'd try to do that. I'd be a bounty hunter, but I'd have a lightsaber, I think would be what I would be.
Kind of like Boba Fett.
Or closer to Ventress, actually. I would think I'd be closer to that.
Ventress too. That'd be cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, cool character. And I believe with that, we are all done. Thank you, everybody, for stopping by. Again, if you do have more questions, leave them in the comments. And I'll be forcefully obligated to respond. But no, I enjoy responding to these. But yeah, thank you all so very much. Make sure to check out Ike on Kenobis Korner. Make sure to give him a subscribe. And same thing with me. So yeah, as I like to say, with that, my fellow Star Wars nerds, May the force be with you. See y'all on the next time. Bye-bye.